In a world beyond the reach of humans lives the monstrous Melkai. 500 years ago, these powerful beings were banished from the human world, only welcomed back when called and controlled by a human. But the spell that holds them back is weakening. Melkai are slipping through the barrier uncalled. In order to restore the barrier, Nathan embarks on a quest to find the missing piece of an ancient and powerful artifact. Nathan's own Melkai protects him as he travels the land filled with roaming monsters, but escaped Melkai are not the only threat he faces. An enemy kingdom is in possession of the missing piece of the artifact, and they are more than willing to let Nathan's people be overrun by the Melkai, rather than give up their power. So, War of Kings and Monsters is a sort of young adult fantasy adventure story. It is a standalone novel, and it is just fun. I really enjoyed this one. The main character, Nathan, is he's kind of naive and just really like a nice guy, and I like him. He's really fun to read. His adventures are very much, let's look at the world as it should be and figure out how to fix things from there, whereas his counterpart from the other kingdom, who he's trying to get the artifact from, Lainey, or Lane, I believe it's Lainey, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce her name, but she is sort of very cynical. Things haven't done as nicely for her. Life is much more difficult. And I like that too, because you get sort of both sides of the coin with that one. And it's really nice to see those two perspectives interacting in a way that isn't problematic. I mean, it's a little problematic, but just like a really little bit. And I think it's very interesting. As far as the plot goes, basically Melkai, these spirit demon monster things, are being called. They can be controlled by a packed item, and the different circles, first, second, third. The third is the most dangerous, the second is in the middle, and the first is kind of your basic, very basic thing. And so each summoner, the more powerful Melkai you can control, which up to second circle, then the better you're considered. And so Nathan and Lainey are trying to combine this artifact so that they can stop the barrier from being broken and the Melkai from coming through. And there are a lot more other things going on, because there are people who really want the Melkai to remain, and there are people who are fighting out grudges that have been around for hundreds of years, and I like it. There's enough political intrigue going on that you're not focused too much on the action and the battles with the monsters, but there's enough monster battles to sort of balance out the intricacies of the political machinations. And you know what, as a young adult, middle grade fantasy piece, I say the story works really nicely. My most favorite character, besides Nathan, who is just wonderful, is Taiba, who is Nathan's Melkai. I really want one. He's really fun. Yeah, anyways, okay, moving on. So, the plot for this book works fairly well. I think it does nicely without trying to sort of push you too hard into looking behind people, seeing what's going on, and I think that the characters are well developed. I think they're very... Someone wants some snuggles. I think that the characters are very interesting, they're well developed, and I think they work very well because you get sort of the balance between the characters, but on a more external level, that you can see them interacting, Nathan being sort of the nice, almost naive guy, and then you have Lainey, who is being cynical. She is just, things are really tough and very ambitious, and you see them interacting on such a level that you get that dichotomy between people, but also as personality types. And I think that works very well. The prose is fairly smooth. There's nothing really to worry about that there. It is absolutely perfect For the audience, I think it works really well. My only critique is that the villain seems a little two-dimensional. The goal of the villain, I'm not entirely sure what further motivation is for the villain to continue being the way he is after so long. And I mean, I know that you have to have the person to battle, that this guy is really not a great person and that you're trying to defeat him, but there is just something missing, the motivation, maybe that little extra background information as to what he really experienced as a child, because it kind of glosses over that. And I think it just needs a little bit extra there for us to really dig in and understand the villain. Of course, in this sort of story, you don't really need to do that because you're supposed to hate the guy. And you do, so it works. Yeah. On the whole, I'd say War of Kings and Monsters is a really nice, well done fantasy piece for young adults, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. And I really like Nathan. I think he's a great main character. He's kind of not your typical hero, and I think it works really well. If you're interested in this book, as usual, all of the links are in the description box below. You can find them there. You can also find the interview I did with the author, Christopher Keene. I'll put that there as well. I highly recommend go checking out his other stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great day. Things are a little chaotic right now, as always, but I hope things are working out for you. And if not, feel free to reach out and talk. I'm always around on the social media. You can find my stuff down there too. And things are tough, but we can get through this. We can do it. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, and I shall see you next time. Bye.